Hello everyone, what is up? Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day. Today we're going to be talking about what's happening with XRP in the XRP community. Now in CoinMarketCap, XRP is right below 20 cents. We have just been stable, really. Same with Bitcoin. Now guys, before we jump into news, I like to say I'm not a financial advisor, nor is financial advice, just as your entertainment value only. XRP Yo-Yo Tweedo, 10,000 Ripple Endgame.
Price rises. Higher prices equals higher liquidity. The fact that Ripple Labs locked up 55% of the total XRP in timed release escrow accounts and has been disciplined in relocking the unsold portions of each release will help to eventually drive the price higher. Even though institutional partners are likely buying XRP over the counter from these releases, this is not reflected in the published exchange prices. During the last 6 months, XRP's price has ranged from 25 cents all the way up to 60 cents, which represents a 120% range either side. Even though this seems like massive movement, it is not problematic for institutional use because of XRP's fast 3-second settlement times.
Big part of the value proposition of Ripple, I think, is the cryptocurrency, the XRP. There we do find that the banks are also, they are hesitant to convert things into a cryptocurrency right now because of the volatility in the currencies, because of the fact that you don't have the deep liquidity that you have in, for example, the dollar.
I hear people talk about volatility, and I feel like they're propagating misinformation. The volatility risk of fiat, volatility is just a mathematical calculation of time times volatility. If you hold fiat for, let's say, an average SWIFT transaction today is in the order of magnitude 2 days, that's about 180,000 seconds. An XRP transaction is 3 seconds. So if you take a low volatile asset times a long duration, fiat, or a high volatility asset versus a very, very short amount of time, it turns out mathematically there's less volatility risk in an XRP transaction than there is in a fiat transaction. The difference is you have market makers. When you do a SWIFT transaction, there's banks saying, there's a market maker saying, I'll lock in that rate. I'll take the volatility risk for the next 2 or 3 days. With XRP, you don't have to do that because it settles so quickly.
What is problematic, however, is that this price movement was driven by relatively small retail investments. To move value on the scale of Swift's $5 trillion of daily transactions requires much more liquidity than is available in today's XRP pool. If 45 billion XRP are available, this would require a price of approximately $111 per XRP.
Guys, just imagine the prices of even 3-digit, 4-digit, but 5-digit, $10,000 of XRP or per XRP. Guys, next it comes from Boy XRP.
I think that when you think about a technology, you think about, for example, blockchain, you really have to bring at an early time of that project financial considerations, regulatory issues, and see if it's compatible, the technology, with the economics.
But every day we're confronted with a different use case from left and right.
Yes.
So where do you see the greatest value, economic value, coming from blockchain?
That it can actualize, it can bring up to speed very complex ledgers in very short period of time. It's a very powerful registrar. And well, of course, we know that in economics, what is key is to have adequate property rights, and that means to have an adequate registry. You know, if this is updated on a real-time basis, I think that's a tremendously powerful instrument. It can facilitate trading, it can facilitate exchanges, but it has to be done right.
Ripple XRP is done right, and we all know Ripple wants to become the Amazon of this crypto DLT race. The Amazon, once again from XRP Yo-Yo.
The good there is that we've done that, and two, more than that, now they can transact business. And if they can transact business, they help even the greedy bastards who are, abusing them, because
I think they absolutely want much better digital currencies.
Yeah.
They want it.
Yeah, and you can't give 7 billion people Bitcoin accounts because it's just too slow. But they can use crypto. Well, not a distributed ledger that's global. That will not work. And it's because of the whole nature of the concept of Bitcoin, which is like gold, which is a thing that you have to mine, and you have to track it from point to point to point, and supposedly you have to keep track of it. And all these computers, it already takes as much computing power to do one transaction or it takes as much electricity as a household uses in a day, and this is for a very small portion of the money supply. But I would say that the whole cryptography idea is great, and what has come off of blockchain is great. But the first generation of this model is not going to work. The banks themselves are not looking at blockchain. Well, Satoshi Nakamoto never used the term blockchain, so it's not really clear what a blockchain is. But they looked at blockchain at first, meaning a distributed ledger that was global, and they decided that it was too slow. And so now what they're using is something they're using Ripple, which is a series of blockchains or a series of ledgers, which is what banks do anyway. They clear ledgers within their own bank, and then at the next level they clear them at the level of the Federal Reserve, and at the next level they clear them through the SWIFT system. So this cryptography that they're looking at and using and liking is very efficient. It's good for everybody. It's cheaper. You don't have to have all these middlemen. But it is not literally a universal distributed ledger, which actually...
The use of Bitcoin, but Ripple reaction on his face. XRP, the standard. Now guys, we're into the fun part of XRP and the XRP community. Now this is quite interesting. XRP hodl tweet out, CKJ. Reverse bearable guy, 1, 2, 3. Now look at this, guys. So, breaking. Chinese officials propose a regional stablecoin backed by 4 major Asian currencies to stimulate trade between China, Japan, and Korea. Wait for it. Look at that. CKJ. I mean, it's connected. Just look at this. It is connected. It comes from Beloshi. 2020 will be life-changing year for the hodlers of XRP. You ain't seen nothing yet. Hopefully, this will be the year. Finally, hopefully, this will be the year. Next comes from JC Collins. The new financial capital of the world will be digital and not a location. Hong Kong falls, London falls, New York falls, Swift falls, power goes virtual. Digital USD built on XRP remains a hegemonic tool in this virtual world. XRP the bridge, China falls as a result. Again, guys, everything looks like it's going virtual. So, and then XRP the bridge. Next it comes from Robert Art. People have a 300k mortgage, 15k credit card debt, and 100k student debt. But investing $5,000 in XRP is risky. A lot of people do have, a lot of different things like mortgages, debt, and all of these other things. But for some reason, they still say investing even a couple $100s in XRP is still risky. Next it comes from Baba Cooks. Before it begins, they want you out. Sorry to report the truth, but those thinking a dip is soon are forgetting the fact this isn't the beginning. Your dip will come later during phase 2. The final tweet for today's video comes from Baba Cooks. October 2019, I said XRP will moon. November 2019, I said XRP will moon southern phasing. May 2020, I said XRP will moon southern facing. Maybe there might be a dip coming. He's talking about in phase 2, but who knows? But anyways, guys, hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. If you guys did, please leave a like, subscribe if you guys haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day, and you guys, see ya.
This is the beginning of the greatest economic cycle this country has had since World War II. And I knew the things that Donald would do, and he hasn't even got started. But this is the eye of the motherfucking storm, the perfect storm. It ain't never going to get any better. Never. This is perfect for the QLA model. If I could have written a prescription or a formula, I couldn't have written it any better. Low interest rates, money's free, you stupid. Massive chaos. And Donald's going to rip the mother economy apart. And he's going to for practice in a good way. This is it. It ain't never going to get any better. This is like a multiple orgasm the rest of your life, you fucking slags that are in the audience. This is it.
Sometimes I don't want to hear what Dan has to tell me. But as I wrote in one of my blogs, the old man, he's always right. Because he's telling you what you don't want to hear about yourself, but what you know is true. And that is, you're not stepping yourself up. You're not stepping your game up. And you get caught up in fear. As Dan says, false expectations appear in reality.